Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in SmackDown Live. Who needs Raw?
What's up? It's your girl Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it Raw. Oh, baby, I like it Raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/. We should start up something called iTube. I was about to say iTube.
That's a good idea.
That's got to be something. Probably pornography related. It's available right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson. Also on the iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Podbean, and at soundcloud.com/Stephen Larson. We've gotten a couple people here and there saying, is Going In Raw going to be on Spotify anytime soon? And I don't know. You guys let me know. Is that something that you would actually utilize? Is that something you want? Let us know, because I think, like anything else, Spotify, you probably have to pay a relatively small amount every month to get it up there. Like SoundCloud is like $15 a month, so we can unleash unlimited amounts of audio.
Yeah.
But you know, if only like 5 people are on the Spotify listening to it. Is that worth it? Is that worth it? Not really. SoundCloud is barely worth it, but we get like anywhere between 500 and 1,000 people on the SoundCloud. That's good.
Worth it. That's worth it.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
500 to 1,000, worth it. 5, not worth it. So somewhere in between, it becomes worth it.
I'm trying to ascertain what the minimum would be for it to be worth it.
What's the minimum? What is the minimum? I don't know. We have a long day, Larson.
We do. We better get going.
We gotta get moving on this.
We gotta do this. Then we gotta edit this. Mm-hmm. Then we gotta watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then we have to shoot stuff for SmackDown.
We're gonna be shooting our SmackDown stuff tonight, because tomorrow we've got a very special trip. Can't say where. I'm the guy without a filter.
Let's just move on.
Can't say where.
Just move on.
Can I say where?
No.
Now? No?
No, move on.
Can't say anything. Anyway, we got some very cool stuff coming up for you next week, which we're gonna be doing tomorrow. I can't say anything. I can't say anything about it. All right, it's a lot of fun though. We're also on the Patreon. Somebody asked in the comments of one of our videos, I like this new table. Did you guys Patreons pay for this?
No, my wife paid for this.
I would have bought a Patreon supported table, but you already had this.
I've had this table for about 10 years.
This is who paid for this?
My wife did.
This is Mrs. Larson supported table.
Well, this used to be our dining room table.
That's right, but we do have new equipment. Our camera we've been using for a couple weeks now.
Yes.
Now we just shoot.
We worry about it later.
And then we got new mics. We got some interview mics. So next time, whenever that might be, we interview people, we're going to look like pros. How do you think about this? Very good. Anyways, so that's us. Yeah, it's Going In Raw. You can hit us up at the Patreon, patreon.com/Stephen Larson. We got 25 people watching right now, and we really want to say thank you for watching us, and thank you for supporting us at the $5 level every month. You can come by, swing by the live stream of the show every Tuesday, come hang out with us, eat your lunch, and listen to talk wrestling, and then you get to enjoy the bonus episode afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. There's all sorts of great rewards. Larson, the $50 shirt packages are literally stamped, addressed, ready to go. Literally, all I have to do, and I'll do that tonight, is drive down to the post office.
Is take the 90-second drive to the post office.
Literally just down the street.
Yeah,
I could walk there.
It's really close.
Just dump them off into the thing, and then check the P.O. box, see if anybody sent us some stuff, and then they'll be on their way. So the $50 packages are out. I've got a little bit left on the comic book to finish. That'll be finished up at some point in the future, and the $20 care packages will go out.
I'm noticing on here, you've mentioned this before, how our new camera accentuates the bags under your eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at myself right now, and I look very tired.
Yeah. People are saying that your mic is off somehow. I wonder what that means.
My mic is off?
Let's see. It just seems echoey. You seem echoey.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe because I got a new clip.
We got a new clip. We're just all figuring stuff out.
This is probably the last time we're going to use this mic anyways. We got new mics coming.
Yeah, we got new mics coming, so sorry about that, but we're already knee-deep in the show.
Can I be heard? I guess that's the important thing.
They can hear him. They can hear you.
Okay.
Just echoing. So
That's weird. I don't know
it's
why
just
it-
gonna be
I
that
don't know why
way.
it'd be
We'll
echoing.
fix it in the regular thing. So once
Yeah.
the regular video goes up, it'll be fixed. We always have to fix something around here. We need. It was better when you pulled it down. Can we expose all your fur?
Sure, well, there's not much there, to be honest.
All right, don't dick around with it too much. It says, yeah, only learned pulling your mic down just helped it. So I don't know. We'll get better mic.
It must be just too far under my chin.
Yeah, we're getting better mics.
If I
next
do
time.
that, if I talk like this whole time.
I think that works.
Hi, everybody.
Oh goodness gracious, it's getting warm in here so all of a sudden. I'm sick, by the way.
Yeah,
also.
I didn't really appreciate you touching
You're
me
in
right
a
there.
den of sick, by the way.
I know.
I hope you appreciate that. Hey, look, this is the thing, dude. In the next 48 hours, we're gonna be very close the entire
Let's
time.
start talking about Raw. I want to try to limit my exposure best I can.
Over the past week, Jeremy Hill, Kevin O'Donohue, all patrons, new patrons, Robert Nota, Alex Golden, Michael Smith, Dan Boss edited his pledge from $1 to $5 so he can be here every week. Let's see here. Michael Skornavaca, Keenan, Michael Wayne, Grand Kaiser Wally, Jamie Small, Old Christian Solheim, Stephen Hilder, Kyle Ulysses. Is that a fourth Ulysses? So many Ulysses. Javier Dedayal, Ralph Rodriguez, Daniel Brearley, Bo Carr, Kyle Kirkwood, Khalid Abuzed, Alexis Panigides, Matt Chapman, Leighton Jones, Jeff Hensley, Chops pledged, Larson Chops, Tim Halstead, Tom Williams, Jared Rogers, Smapty Jones, and Nick B.
Thank you, everybody.
All pledged to Patreon. Raw. There you go. It's Clash of the Champions time, Larson.
Yeah, that's on Sunday, so this will be the go-home show for Clash of the Champions.
We're gonna do our predictions episode on Thursday.
Correct.
However, we'll talk about our Clash of the Champions go home show right now.
Yeah, so the show opened with Roman Reigns coming out to a chorus of boos.
Do you think it's Pavlovian at this point? I think it is. I think it's just Pavlovian at
Sort
this
of
point.
like when John Cena's music hits. Everybody sings John Cena sucks.
I think more so with Roman, though.
Could be.
Because with Cena, I think it's inherent in your head. I just think that this is the way we've been programmed at this point. Because this is what I feel.
Okay.
As soon as I hear Roman's music, in my head, I just think, boo. When I think Cena, I'm like, oh, boo, this is going to be fun, though. Because Cena's always fun. No matter what, he's always fun. Even if you don't like him, you know that he's going to get a... Here's the difference. You know that Cena gets a kick out of all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because, A, he's the top merch seller still.
Yeah.
B, half the people are cheering him. And C, I think he's legitimately curious every time he comes out as to what the ratio is going to
the
be.
proportions are going to be
Exactly,
between
yeah.
fans and people
With
saying he
Roman,
sucks.
I think people just legitimately, by and large, want to express their displeasure at his bosses for putting him out there in such a manner.
That could be. But anyways,
He had a fun match last night on the main event.
Like we said this many times before. We don't question his work ethic in the ring
Yeah.
at all.
I like Roman.
He always busts his ass in the ring.
I like Roman.
So he gets the mic after he comes to the ring and starts to talk.
Yeah.
And he's interrupted instantly by Stephanie
Within
McMahon.
a word, he's interrupted. I know. So Stephanie comes out and she talks about. I watched this morning too, so I just remember this really well. But it was just like, here's the thing. Last night, look.
Oh, she wanted to make things right. Or something like that.
As is usual with Raw, there were very high highs, I thought.
Yeah.
Including literally last night at the very conclusion of the main event. And there were where you get bogged down in that swamp of 3 hours.
Yes.
Even considering the fact that they gave a lot of breathing room to that Cruiserweight match.
They did.
So Raw last night, once again, was a tale of, we have 3 hours. How do we get through those 3 hours without feeling like you're swimming in a swamp?
Yeah.
Like you're in quicksand for some of it. And some of it felt that way. That entire segment with Seth Rollins and Stephanie backstage was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Completely unnecessary.
I know.
And they were stumbling over each other. It was just, it dealt those kinds
If
of things.
If they want Seth to be a Stone Cold type character,
Mm-hmm.
he shouldn't walk into Stephanie's office and try to have a conversation with her.
Well, I respect the fact that they're
At least not like that. He should be, hey, I don't know. It seemed too polite.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I mean.
I know, but you know what? Storyline wise, I don't mind that because he had a prior relationship with her,
But he already went to her and said, "Okay."
I know. That's the thing.
I'll give you a chance to explain yourself.
I know. None of what he said, none of what either of them said mattered. But let's start the show. So Steph comes down. She says some stuff. Foley comes down. He says some stuff. And he says basically, here's the deal. Because of Rollins last week, because of an interference, and because of Rusev's machinations, they're in a match together tonight. And that kicked off the show in terms of the actual wrestling.
Yes.
And further, in the main event, we're going to get Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. And Stephanie says, I think it was Stephanie then declared it was going to be a steel cage match.
No, Steph said it wouldn't be for the title.
Wouldn't be for the title.
And then Foley said it'll be in a steel cage right here.
Yeah.
In Memphis, Tennessee.
I just love, and somebody pointed this out to us on Twitter, I just love that the decision is made in the cage because of, purposes of the show, production-wise. The cage is already there, because it has to be.
Did you think that Foley made that decision on the spot?
It felt like it was supposed to be that way storyline, didn't it?
No, I don't think
no,
so.
It didn't?
No, I don't think so.
He said it was going to be in a steel cage. She said it wasn't for the title. I thought, didn't she say...
She said it wasn't going to be for the title, but Foley said no, but... it will be in a steel cage.
I felt that to counter her saying that, to add punishment in the moment, he said it's going to be in a steel cage.
I didn't interpret that as being
okay, that's good.
Moment.
If you didn't feel that way, then it's not universal, so to speak. So that's okay.
But also, I knew I knew the steel cage was up there, so I just...
You assumed that, okay.
I made that connection myself.
All right.
Since the cage is up there, it must have been a decision he made prior to the start of the show.
Kevin Owens comes out, and he expresses his displeasure.
Although it would be kind of funny if he had said that and they had cut to the wide view of the arena and there was no cage up there.
Right? Exactly. It's going to be in a steel cage, and then during one of their many commercial breaks.
During the match, actually. Just construct the cage.
Exactly, yeah. The Braun Strowman and Jobbers out there.
During the main event.
Yeah, during the main event, they start constructing.
They had a 2-minute commercial break, 3 minutes of the match. They could have put the cage up then.
I think you're right, yeah. Let's see here. We had some Steph Foley stuff backstage, which Hulu evidently cut out. This is the minutia. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Rusev was funny, though. He came up and interrupted him and was asking why
Rusev was
he had to have a match. It was great.
Then we had Rollins versus Rusev. Good match.
Yeah, it was a really
fun
good
match. And in a double countout, baby.
Yeah.
Listen. Double
Again, I'm going
countout.
to go back to the way they've been booking Seth.
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of needed to win that match. If he's your top babyface, I understand
Rusev, man.
I understand protecting Rusev.
Anything that... Okay, here's the thing. Seth needs less protecting than Rusev needs less elevating. And a double countout with Seth shows that he might not be on the same level as Seth, but he kind of is. And I love that. How much do you love that the U.S. title scene is now intermingled with the Universal title scene?
But if Reigns can get a clean win over the Universal Champion, then Seth Rollins should be able to get a clean win over the U.S. Champion.
In a million years, you ever think that Rusev and the U.S. title would be elevated to this degree? Remember how Cena elevated it?
Yeah, I'm saying, I mean, not Rusev, but the U.S. title, yeah.
And Cena was like kind of the only person who could elevate it. And through hard work, perseverance, and decent writing, they have elevated the shit out of that U.S. belt.
I understand that. I mean,
pretty nice.
You could have a very hard-fought, competitive match where Rollins just barely wins. Both guys look strong.
It's weird, man. Nothing is... I mean, it's not weird when you think about how it works logically, but it's weird that nothing has benefited more from the brand split than the IC belt and the U.S. belts. And nothing has suffered more, I think, than the tag belts, oddly.
Yeah.
Because the tag belts had that great storyline going into the brand split, and then they got split up, the teams.
Yeah.
And on SmackDown, I mean, granted, now you got Rhino and Slater, which is essentially a comedy act, and I love Rhino and Slater.
Yeah.
But they're sort of the only thing, and they're the oddball group who showed up after the brand split, the duct tape together group, and they're elevating the belts.
Yeah.
And then over on Raw, I mean, I know they keep on mentioning the New Day. I, at this point, think that they're just mentioning the New Day's streak. So it'll be cooler when Gallows and Anderson break that streak. I don't think they're aiming for that demolition record. I think it's a club or nothing now.
But I'm going to go back to Rollins for a second because I feel like he's kind of lost some of the intensity.
I think you're right. I think...
when he came into the ring, or when he came out for his match and he was standing next to Owens, it was just like a little... I don't know, they kind of just looked at each other and said a couple things back and forth.
Yeah.
No intensity.
Yeah.
When he walks out to the ring, there's not a lot of intensity.
Yeah.
And I just feel like after what happened to him during the Universal title match on Raw, he should be operating. And next week, he showed a lot of intensity. And each week subsequently, it's been dialed back a bit. It's
Yeah.
like going back to the part with Stephanie.
Yeah.
He's just going there politely saying, okay, tell me again you're not aligned with Triple H.
Yeah.
Where's the intensity? I want to see the intensity.
Yeah, I know. You felt like it, especially with how it ended, with him jumping off the top of a freaking cage, which was an insane spot.
And if they had continued the
Built
intensity, built it, the crowd would have went bananas for that segment. Instead, they cheered, and then it just seemed like that was that.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? Also, that crowd last night was not one of the best. That crowd was it was like they were. We have a question about this from Iceman, I think, and the crowd kind of. I felt like they were either bored or they were trying to hijack the show, or a little bit of both.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
But anyways, I want to see more intensity in Rollins. That's what
I
wanna
agree.
see.
No, I agree. I want to see the same intensity we saw from Dean after he dropped the belt. The SmackDown last week. Dean was on fire last week, and Seth needs to be the same. But I wonder if there is sort of this creative malaise that's happening right now. It's funny, man. Once Finn got injured, and we have a good video question about injuries in wrestlers and how that propels storylines later on. But once Finn got injured, I felt everything was on fire. And then they just get this malaise, and I'm like, "This is the go-home show. This is when creative should be coming up with all these great ideas."
And that's when it seems like now when Rollins didn't get the belt at Raw, he was incensed.
Yeah,
he wanted revenge.
Yeah,
and now it just seems like an inconvenience.
He should be horrified that they're replacing Kevin Owens. They're replacing him with Kevin Owens.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, okay, that's a bummer.
Yeah,
but I don't really feel the intensity.
He needs to be scratching and clawing to get that belt back, you know. And everybody else be damned. Let's see here. We had so Rollins versus so women's championship developments.
Yes.
So sure enough, listen, baby, we're gonna do all 4 shoulders are down, and so next week we're gonna add Bayley to the.
Let me ask you this:
to make it a triple threat.
Do you think that finish was intentional?
Yes,
I do too.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. Bayley has been officially added to the women's division championship match. We're going to do our official predictions on Thursday, Larson. But right now, how are you feeling about that?
Right now?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Charlotte's going to retain.
Me too. I kind of agree with that.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's another instance where 2 people pin each other and Charlotte retains somehow.
You think it's going to launch... so it's funny, a lot of people last night were saying, Sasha heel turned on the horizon with Bayley. What would Charlotte go on to do after? Because do you think Sasha Bayley's up after this? Not for the title?
No, Charlotte. Well, maybe. I mean, they can kind of have a little mini feud. One of them could face Charlotte to get the belt, and they can come back around to it come WrestleMania.
Because I'm thinking,
Sasha and Bayley.
I'm thinking we're going to get Sasha Bayley until Survivor. And until then, also, we're going to get, because that's only 2 months away, and we're going to get Charlotte Dana Brooke in the meantime after that as well. That's what we're going to get. And then after that, but from Survivor to Rumble, we'll get something else. I don't know. It's such a weird picture because there's nobody there.
I know.
Like, there's only so many options. I mean, that is the good thing about SmackDown is that you got a lot of pieces there to mess with.
Yep.
You got a lot of pieces to mess with. Let's see here. So that led to a tag match.
Yeah, which happened later on the show.
Yeah, I know. I figured go-home shows these days aren't really go-home shows. They're let's remind everybody that something's coming up shows.
Pretty much.
That's what they are. You know, it's like let's just remind people.
I mean,
that
back in the
happening.
day, or the go-home show was their last effort to sell you on a pay-per-view.
I mean, granted, okay,
they always leave the show with stakes.
The triple threat was decided, and even Reigns Rusev for the U.S. title was decided, but there wasn't like this will be decided if. This will be decided if you do this.
Yeah.
It was, let's announce these things.
Yeah, there was no stakes on the show.
There were no stakes on the show. And so you ended up with the women's tag match because they couldn't figure anything better to do.
For example, what if Foley had gone through with Dana Brooke's idea of having another match between Bayley and Sasha, and a similar finish happened.
Right.
They pinned each other.
Right.
Then you'd be like, okay, now I have no choice.
Right.
Now we have to have a triple threat match at Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
That way there's some stakes involved.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. At the finish of the match, then you make the decision. Then you do the thing.
Yeah.
But instead, we had heels versus faces women's tag match. Decent enough match. I always love watching Bayley.
Yeah.
I mean, I love watching Sasha. I love watching them all. But
Yeah.
Bayley, especially, to see how much fun she's having up there on the main roster now with that sort of pressure of getting there is off.
Yeah.
And she can just have fun.
Yeah,
That's
great.
really cool. The heels went over.
Yes.
Charlotte and Dana Brooke actually on the same page for once.
Yeah.
Which it's like, why has Charlotte kept Dana around this long anyways? Has Dana ever actually helped her in the past 3 months, 2 months?
Apart from last night?
Apart from last night. Seems like
Maybe.
there's been more mishaps.
Yeah, there's been more mishaps.
At that point, you just say, you need to go away now. You know. I like Dana Brooks learning on the fly, though. I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because we had, I'm going to say high hopes. We liked her. I was like, oh, that's good. Throw her in the fire. That's good. She can learn.
Yeah.
And Emma came back to a house show, I think.
Oh, okay.
So maybe throw her in the mix somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Raw desperately needs.
I mean, if Emma's back and then Paige comes back soon.
Raw definitely needs their own women's mid-card.
Yes.
So you can throw people in against the top names and they can bring them back down or elevate them. You know, they need that. They need that Paige type person. They need the Emma person.
Yes.
Jericho and KO had a great backstage segment.
They did. They always have great backstage.
They're amazing. Where Jericho was griping about Mick Foley.
Yeah, saying he's wronged my best friend.
So, you know what he decided to do?
He grabbed a clipboard.
Decided to make a list. He grabbed some poor PA's clipboard.
A list of grievances.
He decided a list of grievances like it's Festivus. Is that what it is on Festivus? What is it called?
Airing of grievances.
Airing of grievances. And he decided to do that. He came out to the ring and he decided to, after compiling a list of things he didn't like, and him and Foley had a great backstage segment.
Oh, that was so good. That's maybe one of the highlights of the show for sure.
Oh, for sure. Whenever those two guys are like a Triple H and Foley, anytime anybody's around each other from the Attitude Era, not these kids, not these babies like Rollins, not these babies like Enzo and Cass. They're babies. They're tiny. They're not tiny. They're babies, though. Whenever you get a couple of old bastards like us from the Attitude Era talking backstage, it's always great.
It seems so effortless.
It's effortless, exactly. And that's a lot of fun. And so we saw Jericho and Mick Foley. Jericho was like, "You've never liked me." He's like, "I like you a lot."
Foley said he recommended that Paul Heyman.
That's right,
Jericho
bring it
to
in,
ECW.
because he saw him in Japan or something.
Yeah, and he said, but since then, no, I haven't liked you very much. That was good.
And so Jericho says, and so Jericho's listing off things as Mick Foley does them. He's listing off things, and it's a great segment. So Jericho goes to the ring and he starts listing off his, which is of course a big callback to the 1004 moves that he knew back in WCW. And so he starts doing that. That brings out Enzo and Cass. For some reason.
Well, they have history with Jericho and Owens, remember?
Yeah, but it's still, that was sort of a, let's shoehorn them out there so that we can then have everybody else fall in line. So then the Shining Stars came out, and then the New Day came out, then the Club.
Then as Jericho is trying to walk backstage, Sami Zayn comes out. And then we have ourselves a 5-on-5 tag match.
A friggin', a
10-man tag match.
A huge man match. New Day, all the heels and all those faces.
Yeah.
Taking on each other. Does that even out? Hold on a second.
Yeah, because
3, 4, 5, 6.
Xavier Woods didn't wrestle.
Xavier didn't wrestle, okay. And who went over?
The good guys.
Good guys went over. Who got the pin?
Enzo.
Enzo got the pin on who? Do you remember? I'm assuming one of the Shining Stars.
Yeah.
Okay. Just again, reminding people that all these people are going to be a Clash of the Champions.
Yeah, it's a good way to incorporate 3 different storylines into one match.
Have you noticed that I've called it Clash of the Champions instead of Clash of Champions?
Oh, there's no the in it?
There's no the. There used to be, though, when Dusty Rhodes and... I forget who.
But it was Night of the Champions, wasn't it?
Night of Champions. Well, I thought he was Night of the Champions. I don't know. I saw some Dusty Rhodes promo thing. Obviously, he's dead now.
I mean, Clash of Champions dates back to WCW, but Night of Champions was a WWE thing.
Okay. He was talking about Clash because he was talking about when they created it in order to try to compete with Vince. And he was like, "That's right, baby, Clash of the Champions." So that's what we did in 1983, I think it was. Because we were competing with Vince McMahon. But then he won and bought everybody. So then, another highlight of the night, the debut of the Cruiserweight division on Raw.
Oh, we're skipping all the way ahead of that?
The next thing says Foley Cruiserweights.
Yeah, but we skipped over Braun Strowman versus Sin Cara.
Where am I?
You're just skipping right to the 10-person tag match. But we're jumping around.
Oh, wow, because I went from Jericho to backstage all the way to the thing.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I know.
I'm all over the place.
Braun
You
Strowman.
need to start leading these discussions. You need to start saying what happened
That's
next.
why I make show notes.
No, I know, but I like jumping around.
So next was Braun Strowman versus Sin Cara.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's another squash thing.
More or less.
Is there going to be an actual match at Clash?
No,
With
this
Braun
was an actual.
Strowman?
This was an actual match, and Braun Strowman won.
Okay, I mean, is it going to go for a third round of Braun Strowman winning? Is Braun Strowman going to be a
not.
Clash? Is my question.
Oh, I don't know.
Hasn't been confirmed.
No.
He's not a champion. I like Braun, though.
Yeah, I do too.
I wish they let him talk. Then we had Sasha Banks and Bayley backstage. We already talked about the women.
Yeah.
Seth outside Steph's office. This one I woke up from my nap.
Okay.
I was sick and dealing with a sick kid yesterday, and we took a nap, and we both woke up around 6. She woke up. I wanted to sleep some more, but she was like doing her weird baby thing, and I woke up and I turned on Raw, and Seth was backstage in Steph's office, and he just started rambling words. I was like, okay, I don't need to see. I didn't need that entire segment was like 5 minutes long. I
And it
didn't
was
see any
aimless.
of that. Completely aimless. It was useless.
Should have had some more intensity.
Yeah.
So all I want is just a little bit more intense, Seth. Like,
I don't want any backstage segments in this. They're absolutely, completely necessary.
agreed.
And or if Jericho and Mick Foley are involved. Anything with Jericho backstage, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Let's see here. Bo Dallas versus Gary Graham happened next, according to your notes.
Yeah.
Another squash match.
Yes.
You know what I really don't like about Bo Dallas? You've mentioned this before, how he still has Outcast.
Yeah.
I don't like how low Outcast is, because it sort of goes from above his belly and it rounds to
Yeah.
below the belly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I look at Bo Dallas, I'm like, you need Bray Wyatt clothing, dude.
Well, first of all, the social outcasts don't exist anymore. As a
I'm
faction.
even beyond that. I don't care about that. I'm so far beyond that. I need new clothes for Bo Dallas.
2, he did it last week where he actually wore ring gear that matched his sign.
Oh, yeah.
And just in terms of branding, I think that's advisable.
Did any of the words on, because I don't remember that. Did any of the were there any words
It was
on
the
those
exact
clothes?
same gear he had yesterday,
Okay.
just in a red, white, and blue color scheme.
Were there any, did it say Outcast on it? Really? Interesting. Was Outcast still awkwardly,
It's the same exact place.
like, just wrapping
Yeah,
around his
just
belly?
kind of
That's just weird. He's
around the
such a
waist
weird
area.
build. He needs Bray Wyatt clothes, or Kevin Owens clothes.
Yeah,
But only Kevin Owens can do that.
yeah.
Let's see here. Then we had, I'm calling this right now.
You've been kind of saying this for weeks, though.
Well, I think Sheamus is definitely going to win. And I definitely think Cesaro is going to move on, is going to go to SmackDown in exchange for The Miz. I think that's where they're heading with this. You don't think The Miz is going to be traded to Raw? That's all they've been talking about.
I hope not, because he's been doing great work on SmackDown. I want him to stay on SmackDown.
And I do not want both those belts on Raw. That would be horrible.
No. I mean, if that's going to happen, then Miz is dropping the belt.
Yeah.
Because they were saying...
What a bummer for him. I think he's benefited the most from the brand split.
Yeah.
You know? I really do. Like, Rusev was already up there.
I mean, imagine instead of trading The Miz to Raw, they keep him there and just bring Cesaro over. How great would that be?
It'd be all the great. I just think that him and Daniel Bryan cannot coexist.
We'll see. I'm hoping The Miz stays. I really want The Miz to stay on SmackDown.
I think Sheamus is going to win this thing and Cesaro's going to go to SmackDown.
No, I think you're right. I think Cesaro losing is going to be his motivation for him.
Here's the
moving
thing
on
about
to
here's the thing.
SmackDown.
You don't think that they think that the rosters are already in the right proportions? Because adding Cesaro to the mix over there on SmackDown, that's just adding another body. Or maybe they had bigger plans for Apollo Crews and aren't particularly enamored with the way all that's going, and so they're cool with adding another guy. I just think that they're probably gonna they probably figure each show should have X number of roster spots. And so we have to trade a one for one thing.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Cesaro just leaves or goes to SmackDown, isn't involved in a one-for-one trade. He goes, and maybe in a month down the line, they do a Jack Swagger thing where someone on SmackDown's contract is up.
Oh,
They
that's right.
negotiate.
Swagger went over. Yeah, but Swagger
Yeah.
was never being used on Raw. Boy, that was a weird thing that he did on SmackDown. The more I watched it.
Ideally, I'd like to just see them bring Cesaro over with not having to trade someone like The Miz to get him.
Yeah.
So I think it would help the show overall.
Yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree with you because I think The Miz has benefited the most from the brand split. He was on like our worst picks.
I know.
And he's ended up
I know.
completely overperforming, like
I know.
outperforming that.
I know. But just imagine like if they bring Cesaro over,
It's another person for Miz to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I
the
know.
perfect person for the Miz to feud with, because there's no one else on the SmackDown mid-card that...
There's no other upper mid-card there.
No.
Yeah. Anyways, getting back to it, Cesaro versus Sheamus. This is my prediction. I know that I'm predicting that Sheamus is going to win. Who do you think is going to win this thing?
Probably Sheamus.
Sheamus? I think that's going to be match of the night. I have a feeling that these guys
Are going to go all out.
have pride and want to steal the show. And granted, this hasn't had like maybe the build that like Benoit versus what was that the last best is that one? Was it Booker T Benoit, something like that? Benoit Raven Booker T. Was it like a triple? No, it wasn't a triple threat.
No, it was Benoit and Booker T, and I want to say
like
it was
the-
98 or 99.
Like the US title. It had to have been. It was 98. It was 98. If it was anything. Anyways,
But I mean, all these matches between these two guys have been great.
they've been great. They've been really
Are
good.
very good.
They've been very good.
They've been consistently telling a story from match to match. Sheamus is working that back.
I think Cesaro's going to do everything he can to put Sheamus over in a really, really spectacular way. And I think Cesaro can do that.
Oh yeah.
And I
still
think
make himself
Sheamus
look
has
good.
I think Sheamus has enough of the ingredients to be able to do that. So I think Sheamus is going to win in a really good match that's going to end up with people cheering for him.
Here's the only situation in which I can see Cesaro potentially winning is because whoever wins this series gets a future title shot. They've been ambiguous in terms of what title that is, but one has to assume it's the Universal title. Since Kevin Owens, a heel, currently holds that title, it would make more sense to have Cesaro win it, so you have a face-heel match somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
But without knowing how long Owens is going to hold the belt, when the winner of this series can actually cash in on their title opportunity, it's really hard to tell.
Here's what I think. I think that to me, it's not assumed that it's a Universal title shot. Because weren't they sort of in the mix for the U.S. title
That when they first started the series, yeah, but I thought Sheamus
Do you
said something.
think? Do you think the 7 matches have elevated these two to the main event?
Well, no, I don't know, but I mean, I thought Sheamus last night said something about the Universal title during his promo.
I don't remember that. I kind
Within
of
the
watched.
last couple weeks.
I kind of watched the promo, and I was kind of disappointed that. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't take a different tact with Sheamus in his promo. This should be more about the pride he feels in how a victory would elevate him,
Yeah.
as opposed to the same old sort of Sheamus we've seen.
Yeah.
This should be a bit more personal for him, and he shouldn't be as antagonistic, I think, in his promos for this. This should be a show of competition as opposed to I'm a bad guy.
Well, they could still be antagonistic, but still be personal.
I know they can be. I just don't want to see typical heel Sheamus. I just
You
think
want
that,
another face turn?
no, it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be either one.
I know.
It could be, I just wanted it to be more of I don't want to say reserved even, but just less doing the same hammy bad guy thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that could have added some weight to what was going on.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to kill it in their last match, and I think it's probably going to be match of the night. I mean, not match of the year, but it might be match of the night.
I don't know, with Owens and Rollins in the main event. That's going to be a quality match, too.
It's going to be a quality match. Yeah.
Speaking of another quality match that'll undoubtedly happen at Clash of Champions, let's talk about the Cruiserweights.
Yes.
There was a fatal 4-way match to determine the new number one contender to the new Cruiserweight title,
The Cruiserweight belt.
which is currently held by TJ Perkins.
That's right.
So we had the
Brian Kendrick. The Spanky.
versus Cedric Alexander versus
Yes.
Grand Metalik versus Rich Swann.
Grand Metalik.
Great
I'm
match.
going to miss how Mauro Ranello says Grand Metalik.
Yeah,
I love the way he says that.
yeah,
Versus Rich Swann. The Spanky came out on top
yeah.
in a fantastic match. They
Yeah.
really let breathe. They
Yeah.
really let this thing go.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see at Clash and post-Clash how they start doing these Cruiserweight matches. If they're going to start, at what point are they going to start incorporating stories if they do?
Well, we get some questions about that later on during our question segment,
Right.
so we'll get to that there. Because several people ask about Brian Kendrick's role in the Cruiserweight division in terms of the whole heel-face dynamic. Like I said, we'll talk about it later.
Okay, sound good.
But anyways, the Brian
Spanky.
Kendrick is the new number one contender of the Cruiserweight title. So it'll be him against TJ Perkins at Clash of Champions. That'll be a good match.
How much do you love One of those dudes who was around 10 years ago is back around.
I know.
I love that
Pretty
so
cool.
much. It's so cool, man.
It's
Because
pretty
all
cool.
these guys are young dudes.
Yeah.
These are all young bucks here, so to speak. The Brian Kendrick is an old guy like us.
Yeah, he's about our age.
Imagine if they bring in the young bucks. They can't do half their moves in the WWE.
I know.
They're all variations on. They're all drivers. So this is gonna be good. This is gonna be again potential match of the night.
Yeah.
You know, the Cruiserweight match. So I don't know. This is shaping up to be a really fun card. Mm-hmm. If Charlotte and Sasha and Bayley get over this weird NXT to main hump that the women's division seems to. Have you noticed that they put on classic matches in NXT and none of them really put on a classic match?
I wonder if
yet?
that'll change now that Sarah Del Rey is a producer on Maine.
Good point.
Because she was one of the trainers in NXT.
Yeah,
And I assume was the producer of the women's matches.
you're probably right.
So her and Adam Pearce just came up to Maine to start
That's right,
producing.
yeah.
So I wonder if that'll affect that at all. I think that happened after
Do we
SummerSlam,
know?
right?
Is she? Yeah. Do we know? Is she specific to a brand?
That I don't know.
I would think that they would need her way more on SmackDown than they would need her on Raw.
Yeah, that's
you know what I
possible.
mean? So I don't know. Interesting to speculate about that.
Here, I'll check.
Let's see here. And then we had our main event, which I was tweeting this out at Real Going in Raw if you guys want to follow my live tweets. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a cage.
Yeah.
And it started like with 12 minutes till 8, which I know they go over by 5 minutes. Or more sometimes. So they didn't give a lot of breathing room to this match, which is kind of understandable because it's a cage match and you're heading into a pay-per-view, so you don't really want to put too much risk at your guys.
Yeah, I know.
But still, I was like, really? You're starting it at 7:48? And then they do their introductions. There's about 3 minutes of match, and then they go to commercial.
They've been doing that a lot recently.
I know, it's kind of frustrating. And so, but, you know, given the small amount of time they had, they did a pretty good job with what they had.
Yeah.
You know, they actually did a really good job with what they had. Although, one spot I was watching last night, I was kind of in like my sick, zoned out, mucusy state. And I was watching, and there was that bit that I've seen Roman Reigns do a million times, where he's standing there, he's backed a guy up into the corner, so the guy in the corner is just sort of leaning back. Roman Reigns is leaning forward. He's just sort of on him, and he's just doing this.
Yeah.
And the crowd...
the corner clotheslines?
Yeah, and the crowd counts to 10. And it's the weakest looking shit I've ever seen in my life. And he's just doing this. 1, 2, 3. He's sitting there like, oh my God, the longest 10 seconds ever.
I guess they couldn't have him do the 10 count punches in the corner like a lot of people do. So he does clotheslines.
And he's so bulky with that stupid vest. Really want to get rid of that vest, man.
I know.
I can't stand that vest.
Nor can I.
Yeah, it's annoying. Anyways, that was Raw. So anyways, yeah, they did the spot where Roman Reigns... I kind of like the fact that Kevin Owens was selling logic in that he was trying to just get out of the goddamn cage to win really quick.
Yeah.
That's logic. That's not a heel thing to do.
No, that's just smart.
Roman Reigns, so Kevin Owens tries to get past him to get out of the cage. Roman Reigns repels him. Why doesn't Roman just turn around and walk out? I understand the idea that, he wants to kick his ass.
Yeah.
I kind of get that, but you're there to win
At the end
matches.
of the day, just win.
At the end of the day, you're there to win.
Yeah, just win.
So it doesn't make sense if you're not trying to get out of the cage.
Yeah.
So, but then again, if you book that match, then wouldn't both guys just be running to the door and they're like trying to shove each other off while they drop out?
Yeah.
Like if you and I are ever in a cage match, we just need to run.
We run and then we just fight right by the door. And it's like 10 minutes of fighting right by the door.
That really needs to be like if 2K17 they do like a cage match.
Yeah.
They need to have like a function where you're near the door, somebody's trying to get out of the door, and then you can hit a button to like try to get the guy away, and then we just keep on reversing. Because that would be us, just trying to claw out of the cage.
It'd be like clumsy.
Yeah, oh yeah. It'd be horrible.
It'd be awful.
Yeah. And then Roman Reigns climbs over the cage, drops down to his feet. A second later, Kevin Owens goes out the door, so Roman Reigns wins. Kevin Owens gets on the ground, does this.
Thinks he won, yeah.
Then he hears Roman Reigns' music. And then Rusev comes down, and Kevin Owens yells at him to Machka something.
That was great.
That was great. And then Seth Rollins comes down in a little mini Shield reunion.
Yep.
Helps out his old buddy. And
Does
he
a flying crossbody from the top of the cage.
I was shitting myself, hoping that nobody hurt themselves. I was like looking at everybody, and Rusev was like really still. And I was like, oh no, Rusev is hurt, but
He got much good.
He got much good. So fun way to end it. Fun go home ending. But the entire Raw, like I said, it had some really good moments. But the 3-hour thing was evident again last night. Just a slog. You know, SmackDown goes by like this.
Yeah.
Raw goes by Lord.
SmackDown, when you're done watching, you kind of want a little bit more. Sometimes when it's good, you're like, okay, I could have gone for a bit more SmackDown.
I know.
But very rarely do I finish a 3-hour Raw and say, man, if this is only half hour longer, I'd be happier.
I know. It's funny. There wasn't a lot of shit that was missing in the Hulu version.
Mm-hmm.
I went on the YouTube. I think I went on YouTube last night and looked at some of the things I figured would be Hulu less, like Braun Strowman. He was Hulu less, or he wasn't in Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
What's his face? Rotunda. Bo Dallas. He wasn't on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need to be. Oh, it was announced Nia Jax taking on Alicia Fox at Clash too.
During the pre-show, yeah.
Oh, that's a pre-show match. Good. All right.
You want to answer some questions?
Yes.
Good, we got a lot of them. First, James Rodriguez. Do you think we will see Seth versus Triple H before or after the end of the year? Mania.
Makes sense for Mania. Yep.
Chris Schwinghammer. Do you think any former roster members, Enzo, will join the Cruiserweight division, or will it consist of only Cruiserweight Classic guys?
If it was anybody, I think it'd be Neville. And they'd probably use that to see how that goes over. And it also depends on... These guys that are coming in aren't sort of experienced in WWE storylines, and so I think that they might use some of those guys who are to start directing the Cruiserweight division into storylines.
Yes,
but I don't know. We'll see. I off the top of my head, probably not. But
I think the fact that Kalisto got drafted to SmackDown is an indication that I think for the time being the Cruiserweight division will be the Cruiserweight Classic guys.
I think so. I think that's going to be its own thing, and I don't see them intermingling a lot with other people. Like I don't think they're going to be using that because like back in the day, the Cruiserweight division in WCW, some of those guys would springboard out of it. Like Jericho would springboard out of it.
Yeah.
I don't see that necessarily happening now. 2 years maybe.
Well, I think once they establish the core group, then they can start bringing in some of the other guys. Excuse me. Najee Polls.
Yes.
Question for Steve.
Yes.
Since I agree with you on the Shinsuke knocking off Brock Lesnar would be the dopest shit ever.
I agree.
It would. Knowing Vince's hard-on for building up Brock as a creator wrestler with an overall of 99.999, what would be your reaction to Brock squashing Shinsuke with suplexes and going over in a landslide victory? Would you give up on wrestling at that point?
Would I give up on wrestling at that point? No. I would. You'd probably not see me for like a week. I don't know, man. It's a Brock Lesnar match, but a Shinsuke Nakamura match. Would I go to the merch table then? Probably not. No.
But how would you feel if it was another squash in Brock's favor?
Oh, I don't know. I just call another day at the job. It's like, that sucks. That's a bummer that he's treated no differently. But I don't ever see that happening. There's so much money to be made in Shinsuke Nakamura.
Now, the 28-time European champion.
No, 7 at best.
This question, am I the only one that didn't see the Brian Kendrick winning the Fatal 4-Way to advance to the Night of Champions to challenge TJ Perkins for the Cruiserweight strap? I for sure thought Cedric Alexander would get the first shot.
I thought the same thing. I really thought it was going to be Cedric Alexander. But Spanky's experienced, and you can't... and maybe they see Cedric as they don't want to job him out so soon. Because I think Kendrick's going to do the job.
And also, I think Kendrick is... he can play heel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's really the key. If they want to start building up storylines, Kendrick can be your top heel.
I agree.
And James Garcia asked that question, will Brian Kendrick become the top heel of the Cruiserweight division, or will TJ Perkins be the top heel? If not them, who do you believe will become the heel?
It'll be interesting to see how heel face they go. But I think Kendrick, I think you're right. I think he's got the most experience. He can probably do that the best.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, sorry.
Damon Cruz How do you guys feel about Brian Kendrick getting the first title shot? I think they're going to go with the safe route since the WWE has worked with him before. Just can't wait for them to get behind Alexander. We both echo that sentiment.
Yes.
Exactly. Next.
Nathan Ray. Raw felt a little more complete with the introduction of the Cruiserweight match. We had tag team action, woman action, squash matches, and a big night to end the night. Sorry, big match to end the night. Do you think SmackDown needs their own Cruiserweight division to round out their show?
I think that they're booked solid. They're booked full right now. I would really be surprised if they brought in a Cruiserweight division, because look at how their tag division is not getting a whole lot of shine right now.
Yeah.
Like, they have like, what, 5 tag teams or 6 tag teams, and then you bring in Slater and Rhino as like another one to win the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And, they squash basically the Ascension.
Yeah.
They need some development in that tag division.
Yeah.
They really do. There's no room.
Yes. Chandler 3 Productions. What's up, friendos?
Hello.
I hate to ask this question, but do you think the Cruiserweight division will be popular on Raw, or will we see the Cruiserweight title be the main event of the pre-show of Raw pay-per-views in 6 months? I think they're going to give that division time and a spotlight. I really do.
Yeah, they're not I do not see them being on the pre-show at all. I don't see them main event of the pre-show. No, I think they're going to be popular. I think they're going to be like WCW. People tune in for the Cruiserweights on WCW.
Especially if they start getting storylines involved for the matches.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Jericho Kunzman. Hey, friendos. Larson's Eagles won. And my question is, who else do you see being a heel in the Cruiserweight division? I think we both agree that the Brian Kendrick is the most ready to be a heel right now. Who else do you see as a potential heel?
I don't know. I honestly don't, because I don't really... I mean, Cedric Alexander has done a really good job at showing that he can emote. So that's always good for a heel. And on top of that, he could be a pure babyface, but that's never as interesting as a heel. It really isn't. So I don't know. I just don't know enough about their... I don't know enough about them.
Yeah.
They need to sort of develop characters, which I think to me is still secondary to just putting on fantastic matches and then letting the chips fall where they may. Next.
Jamie 10. Hey guys, I was watching Cedric Alexander. I was just thinking about his potential in WWE as a main event upper mid-card superstar. Finn Balor is pretty much a cruiserweight and was able to become Raw's Universal Champion. I don't know if the cruiserweights can make the transition from cruiserweight to regular superstar, able to compete against non-cruiserweights and for all titles, but this question is if they can. Anyway, do you think Cedric Alexander can one day be a top guy or possibly Universal/World Champion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Within 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to see it, just not anytime soon, like a year, maybe a year and a half from now. We might see some trickle up or trickle out, rather. I don't want to make it sound
the fact they continually make a point of saying that he dropped 20-some pounds to be in the Cruiserweight Classic, I think means that in their mind, he can jump up a weight class, so to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easily. And he's got all the skills.
Yeah.
He's great in the ring. He's got tons of charisma. He's a great storyteller.
Yep.
I think of all the guys that I've seen in the Cruiserweight division so far, he's top of my list of guys I think can cross over and be a huge superstar.
I think given all of our questions regarding him, I think everybody else agrees.
Yeah. Yeah, that match with Kota Ibushi, I think everybody just took notice of him.
Yeah.
How awesome he
that
is.
was my favorite of the whole thing.
Daniel Gannon. Out of all the cruiserweights who are on Raw now, who do you think will make the most impact? Like half these questions. About
Cedric Alexander. Move on.
Yeah. Alex Cartwright. Obviously, the cruiserweights stole Raw. So, what direction do you think they'll go with the division? Will they give them promo time, or will they just get the fast-paced 20-minute match each week?
Like I said, out the gate, I think they're going to get those sort of generic promos. Like the ones where this is who I am, this is what I'm here to do, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But not really immersing them in story too much. And then within a couple months, we'll start see that happen.
I wouldn't be surprised if for the first month on Raw, more or less, we're getting these matches with more than 2 participants.
Yeah.
To kind of get everybody familiar with the division.
That's exactly right. Exactly. It's a get to know you period.
Yeah.
It's open house. Jeffrey D.
Did WWE book themselves in a corner when Sasha won the title at the first brand split Raw, then was injured, so now we already have Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte instead of saving Bayley for a later time?
I don't think that was... I don't think when she won the title, they realized that she was going to have to be out for a little while.
Yeah.
So, did they book themselves in a corner? Maybe. Could they have foreseen that? Probably not. So I don't know if that was.
I'm sure
it wasn't their intention.
They're making their best of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I'm sure, like when they thought she was hurt, or they thought she would be out for a
they brought Bayley up.
They brought Bayley
exactly,
up, and it turns out that she only had to be out for a month or so, and then now they have to make the situation work as it exists now.
Exactly.
Andrew Wormley, how long do you think it'll be before Nia Jax is put in the women's title picture?
I'm gonna say at the Rumble. I'll say it'll be kind of near the Rumble-ish. It's gonna be a little while. It's not gonna be immediately after Clash. It's not gonna be at Survivor Series.
You think a Bayley Nia Jax feud for the women's title potentially, or a Sasha Nia Jax?
I don't see Bayley getting anytime soon.
She'll get at WrestleMania.
Sasha. Charlotte might retain all the way to Survivor Series, and then maybe feud with Nia Jax at that point till the Rumble.
I don't think Charlotte and Nia are going to feud because they're both heels.
Oh yeah. I don't know. My prediction is that she's going to feud with either Charlotte, Sasha, or Bayley, and one of them are going to be the women's division champion.
All right. Shane Oakland.
Pretty safe bet to make.
Yeah. Shane Oakland, do you think Triple H will interfere in Seth's match at Clash of Champions?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Lock of the night.
Sometimes I read these questions and I just see words. I don't actually absorb what they're saying.
Kyle Ulysses.
Kyle Ulysses, baby.
With the way Roman has been booked lately, do you think we will see him as any type of champion in the next few months or sooner?
No.
There's a chance he could win that U.S. title.
We'll find out on our predictions episode on Thursday.
There's a chance.
I think there's a chance. I don't think it's a good one.
Carlos Hackworth. Who do you think will still hold their title till the Rumble?
Good question.
Maybe all of them. Except maybe...
I'm going to say not the New Day.
Yeah.
Not the New Day.
And probably not Slater and Rhino.
Oh, we're talking about SmackDown also?
Well, I mean, sure.
Till the Rumble? Certainly doesn't seem like AJ's going to hold it till the Rumble because Cena's after him. And as much as I love your idea of them holding that out for a long time.
Well, Cena's supposed to be... Apparently he's not booked for any events between October 11th and November.
Oh.
Because he's shooting his American Grit show.
Cena wins it at the Rumble.
No, he's going to win at WrestleMania.
Everything happens at WrestleMania for you, but they change stuff between now and then.
I understand that.
Things are going to change. The Rumble's a big pay-per-view.
It's a big pay-per-view. Mania is the...
No, I get that, but things happen at big pay-per-views.
I understand.
Things happen at small pay-per-views.
At the Rumble, someone wins the Rumble. That's a major thing.
What did we say was going to happen? It was going to be Finn winning the Rumble.
And then he beats Owens at WrestleMania.
Versus Owens at WrestleMania.
All the titles are going to change hands at WrestleMania.
Only at WrestleMania from now on.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Kevin Shaw. Kevin Shaw watched Raw this week very drunk.
Oh, boy.
And felt as if it was completely terrible. Was it because Kevin Shaw was wasted, or is Raw just so awful right now? It was like most episodes had ups and downs.
Well, hold on a second. That depends on Kevin Shaw's state of affairs. What's going on emotionally, mentally? What's going on in his surroundings, in his life?
Okay.
Because when you get drunk, sometimes then you just project your innermost feelings. You're unable to separate one from the other. Your life from wrestling life.
It also depends on what he was drinking, because various spirits bring out different emotions.
Is that how it is with you?
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had more than like 2 emotional states.
You mean period?
Yeah.
What are they?
Oh man, tired and
grumpy?
No, it's either tired / grumpy or legitimately excited about something.
Okay, well that's pretty much it.
Oh goodness, I'm joking. You're a multi-dimensional character. With me, it's always the same thing. I'm always they say the spirits get you just more of what you are.
But I've noticed that depending on it's more so for liquor as opposed to beer or wine.
Like they say like wrestlers are just their own personalities bumped up to 11.
Yeah.
That me drunk is me bumped up to like 15.
But granted, I haven't had a lot of tequila in years. But like when I was in college and I had a lot of tequila, it made me, I guess for lack of a better term, more aggressive.
Oh, that's that time that you were going to fight Hilton.
Maybe.
Oh man, I've never seen you so angry in your life. Still to this day, I've never seen you so angry.
Don't remember it.
And Boy, oh boy, you're going to lay in a Hilton. Ooh.
Don't remember that at all.
Man, if it was today, like now you're all old and grizzled, you probably would have like really tore into him. But back then, like, you know, you were like, oh, I'm young. I don't know what that means. Next.
Patrick Sparks.
No, Chris Kimmel.
Sorry, Chris Kimmel. With Seth coming out to save Roman, do you think we're going to see them team up together sooner rather than later?
Survivor Series. Bank on it.
There's been all sorts of rumors. As you mentioned on Dirt Sheet last week.
That's right.
That there's talk of a Shield reunion coming up at one of the cross-brand pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Patrick Sparks. How do you feel about Liv Morgan? I say with more time she can be a good worker, but I feel there's a lot of similarities between her character and Carmella's. What do you think?
On the surface, you know, the New York thing, you know. But I say that's sort of surface. She needs, look, a year of developmental.
At least.
At least. People can go a long way in a year.
Yeah.
They can go a long way in a year.
You can tell watching her wrestle that there is some athletic ability.
Oh, yeah.
It just needs to be harnessed.
Yeah. Her personality needs to be harnessed as well, like her words.
Yeah.
Oscar's gone.
I know. All right, is this Smapty?
Smapty Jones.
New patron, love the show. Thank you very much. Why are people so concerned with Owens losing clean in a non-title match? I'm a huge fan of Kevin Owens and don't feel this weakens him at all. How many times did Ric Flair lose in non-title matches? And he's the greatest of all time.
He is the greatest of all time. I'm not concerned with it. Are other people concerned with this? Dude, look, here's the thing. People love Kevin Owens, especially people in our community.
Yeah.
People love Kevin Owens.
Yes.
And so sometimes people are very willing to overreact when somebody loses. He didn't get pinned. He did not submit. He simply got out of a cage a second after.
He barely lost.
And he got out of a second later. So
just barely lost.
Not a big deal.
Yeah. Lucas Coward Marshall. Greetings, friendos.
Hello.
With No Mercy being in your hometown,
yeah,
would you attempt to get any of the talent on to co-host the show? Top 3 wish list. Lucas would love to see Renee Young join us.
Oh, man. To co-host the show, Renee Young, I feel like that would be like a huge step down for her and a huge step up for us.
But I'd only do it if we were on the Talking Smack set.
Oh, I would love to be on that set, dude. That'd be fantastic.
All right, top 3. Apart from Renee Young, that's a great idea.
Oh, no, seriously, even beyond Renee Young, number 1 would be Booker T. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that'd be so good.
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Booker T. The number of questions that we could ask that guy. Oh, man, are you kidding me? That'd be great.
That would be great.
I love the book, man. Fucking love the book.
The Miz.
The Miz. Oh, it'd be good. That'd be fun.
That'd
be fun with the Miz. That'd be fun. One more to co-host the show. Just based off his Stone Cold podcast. No, based off his Stone Cold podcast, Braun Strowman.
Okay. Wait, but he's not on SmackDown.
Oh, what? Oh, okay, good point. Okay, reboot. Well, and then obviously be AJ Styles. Of course it'd be AJ Styles.
Next.
I mean, if we said no to John Cena, it would be stupid. But, AJ Styles.
X-Ray Guy. Hey there, friendos.
Hello.
Seems like Raw's completely lost it on how to use their tag teams. Any suggestions on how they can make the tag division more entertaining?
They go in fits and stops.
Yeah.
They go in fits and stops. You see, I liked, this is my thing about Raw last night, is that you have some good storylines or you have some good matchups. It's just they haven't been written particularly well.
I think the most interesting storylines are when performers are chasing something.
Yeah.
Like a title.
Yeah.
And right now in the tag division, I mean, like it seems like the club wants the belts, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot of urgency behind what they're doing.
Yeah,
and I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
or like the reason that Heath Slater got so over, one of them is because he was chasing something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. And there's too much mulling about.
Yeah.
Like, what does Enzo and Cass care about the Shining Stars?
If you think about a lot of these programs going on right now, there's just kind of like, in general, a lack of intensity going on.
It's a lot of wallering. A lot of wallering.
They're just there.
Milling about. Everybody's milling about.
We need some more intensity.
Stop milling about.
I want to feel like something's on the line.
Don't mill.
Stakes. I want stakes.
Enough milling about.
Steaks. Marty Too Sweet.
I had steak 2 nights ago.
Sounds good.
Marty Too Sweet.
Nope.
No? Is it because I'm sick? Partially?
I mean, it's part of it, but still no.
Partially. What percentage is it that you're not too screaming because I'm
Considering
sick?
I won't do it, period, when you're healthy.
That's 100%.
Maybe 5% because
5% because I'm sick.
Yeah, 95% just general.
So if I wasn't sick, you'd say I have a 5% chance of getting this done today.
No, it still wouldn't happen.
Oh, okay.
Greetings, friendos.
Hi.
Marty Too Sweet was also at WrestleMania 31. It was an amazing experience.
Too sweet for
to
you,
witness.
Marty.
Even if we were in the nosebleeds and the big thing holding the screen was covering my view of the ring, still the greatest day of my life.
Wow.
It's unbelievable that Marty Too Sweet was in the same place as Brock, Rock, Hogan, Sting.
Brother.
And they list us.
Steven Larson. Yeah, no. Same verb you gave those guys. Give us some shine.
Marty Too Sweet's question is, where would you like WrestleMania to be after Florida? His picks. LA, since the Rams are getting a new stadium, which I think is a couple years off still. Seattle, where the Seahawks play, or even Las Vegas if the Raiders move there. Thank you guys for your hard work, and sorry for the question being so long.
It's okay.
The only one of those stadiums that is open right now is the Seahawks Stadium, and I worry they might not have it there because I don't think it's a dome. And Seattle is known to get some inclement weather from time to time,
sure. Yeah.
and they don't want rain during WrestleMania.
They don't want it to Roman Reigns.
Because they had it, last time they had it in Seattle was at their baseball stadium, which it has a retractable dome on it. I guarantee you within 3 years of the new stadium in LA being built, they'll get WrestleMania.
Welcome to my house.
And probably the same for Vegas if the Raiders move
But
there.
the question is, where do you want it to be?
Well, obviously I want it at Hughes Stadium right here in Sacramento, California. That's the answer.
There you go.
Oh no, I lost my place.
Kyle Douglas.
Thank you. Sorry about my stupid AJ Styles Dorito question from last week. He's a new patron and didn't want to miss out asking on you guys something but couldn't think of anything good.
What did he ask?
He asked if we thought AJ Styles liked Cool Ranch Doritos.
Oh, I love that question.
That was a great question.
I'll take more of those
I
questions.
thought that was a great question.
Anything involving wrestlers and food, I'm down with.
Yeah. So here's a real serious question.
Boo.
Do you think wrestlers today don't sell enough?
Yes.
I listen to a lot of podcasts with wrestling legends, and one thing they all seem to say is today's wrestlers are too concerned about high spots and not enough with selling. What's your take on this?
I don't think that they're too concerned with high spots. I think that's one thing that I've heard the same thing in a lot of podcasts, is that no, they care about high spots.
I don't think that's necessarily the case.
If you watch on a very casual basis, then that might be your perception. I don't think that. I do think that there's a vast difference between guys like Kevin Owens, who knows how to sell throughout a match, after a match, and a guy like Roman Reigns, who can fend off Rusev after a brutal cage match.
He popped right up from the pop-up powerbomb after he kicked out. He didn't even sell that.
There are certain wrestlers who, yes, the art of selling is completely lost on them, and it is infuriating. There are other guys, and it kind of plays into my thing about looking at the ref. Some guys know how to time it perfectly and not look at the ref and really sell it, and some guys don't. And it kind of goes the same hand in hand with just in general selling. Some guys know how to do it, and some guys have a lot of work.
Yeah. Charles Falk. Excuse me. Hey, friendos. How do you guys feel about the women's tag division? Seems like a few storylines can be drawn up. It's too much talent with nothing to do. Well, right now there's, six women in the SmackDown Women's division.
The brand split kind of precluded that from happening.
Yeah,
ever.
that's what I was
like they would need to bring in a lot more for that to
You probably
really
need,
work.
a minimum of 10
Oh, yeah.
per show?
Yeah. I mean, if you want 5 teams, then yeah.
Yeah. Michael Wayne, what's the most dangerous, exciting wrestling move you have ever attempted in real life?
Oh, God.
It tells a story of him and a friend.
In the 8th grade, used to find unsuspecting 6th graders and go road warriors on them. He'd pick them up, drop them in a backbreaker, and then his friend would do that. And then he'd come down off the top rope or desk with an elbow across their chest. We performed it well. No one was actually, so they protected their guys.
That's good. They're safe workers.
No one's ever hurt. Psychologically, maybe nothing ever wanted a trip to the nurse's office. That's good.
We're in college.
Well, you got your neck busted by Big Jim. He healed on you.
Yeah, he did. But that's not the most dangerous move I've ever attempted.
I've ever attempted. Shoot, I don't know.
Probably just a choke slam. Done that before. That's not that dangerous though.
No, it's not.
I'm a safe worker.
Yeah, I'm a pretty safe worker. I went for like holds. I think more than nothing. I don't know. My wife has some vicious elbows though. Like when we wrestle, like she starts digging in, And it's
It's
legit.
like she's Lesnar.
It's
and you're
like
Randy Orton.
wrestling with Lacey is like being in Stu Hart's dungeon. Like seriously, if somebody put like an audio cassette tape and hit record like just outside, it'd be the same thing. Be like, ah, that kind of thing.
Steve Alessi. Here's some fantasy booking. He knows there's zero chance of it happening, but here's his card for Survivor Series.
All right.
So, AJ, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, The Miz, and Rusev against Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, John Cena, and Shinsuke. That'd be your main event.
I don't like it because Shinsuke. What, you're gonna group him in with a bunch of people, like off the bat? Nah, man. Shinsuke. Here's what the team should be: AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, The Miz, and Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura goes over.
Okay.
Next.
You don't want to toss Brock Lesnar on the other team just for good measure?
2 Brock Lesnars.
Okay. Like 2 actual Brock Lesnars, or Brock gets pinned and comes back?
No, 2 Brock Lesnars.
Okay, just make sure.
Same time.
Just want to clarify.
Shinsuke goes over.
The Club, the Usos, and the Revival against the New Day, American Alpha, and Gargano and Ciampa.
That sounds reasonable. That's okay. Revival go over.
Charlotte, Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Asuka. Mm-hmm. Only Asuka's on the heel team. Versus Sasha, Bayley, Becky, Nikki Bella, and Ember Moon.
All right, I like this, but Asuka goes over, and Asuka's on her own team.
Yeah.
It's Asuka versus everybody, even the faces.
No, I agree with that.
Faces and heels take on Asuka because she is literally a force of nature,
Mm-hmm.
and and we see 10 deaths in the ring.
T.J. Perkins, Grand Metalik,
Grand Metalik,
Cedric Alexander, and Rich Swann.
Rich Swann
Against, here's another guy that could be a heel in the Cruiserweight division, Jack
I can't
Gallagher.
stand him, dude. I'm instantly rooting against that guy. I don't care how face he is. I know he's sort of like he's a heel.
Yeah.
But he's a heel in an annoying way. I can't stand that guy. He's instantly on my heat list. He's on my fucking list, dude.
The Brian Kendrick, Jack Gallagher, Noam Dar, and Lindsay Dorado.
Jack Gallagher is on my list.
Okay.
Can't stand that guy. Don't like his look. Don't like his weird striped pajama pants, the stupid shorts that he wears. Well, I hate his little mustache. I hate it all, man.
Okay. So that would be Steve Alessi's Survivor Series card.
I like it. It's all good except make my changes. Shinsuke beats everybody.
Okay.
Next.
Nathan Gerchow. Hey, friendo. Since its inception, which NXT call-up has fared the worst on the main roster and which has exceeded your expectations?
Apollo Snooze.
The Ascension has failed the worst. Because they were a dominant tag team in NXT.
Yeah.
They failed the worst.
Apollo Snooze.
Who has exceeded your expectations?
Apollo Snooze. Baron Corbin has exceeded my expectations.
Well, he's pretty much fulfilled my expectations.
Yeah, but he's still on the rise, baby. He's going up
I
the
think
card.
we've more or less
Listen up. He's
seen
the
his
big.
ceiling.
He's the big glass of water. This is what we're gonna do. I read this book the other day called The Wizard of Oz. Then now I had a very successful run with a dude named Oz
I don't know who's exceeded my
in
expectations.
WCW, but there's another character named the Tin Man, and I'm gonna make Baron Corbin the Tin Man. He's looking for a heart.
Just Brian. Hey, friendos, Iceman here.
Iceman.
With the increase in chants such as Let's Go Jobber and Delete,
Yeah.
do you guys think that the crowd is simply having fun or expressing their discontent with multiple squash matches every week?
Okay, so this is a good question. Being there at SummerSlam, when we were there, was interesting because when the crowd revolted against the ugly belt, we were on board with it for a second.
And then they
get
went
it
too
out.
far.
Then they went too far. Now we were in thanks to 2K games. We were up in one of the luxury boxes, the suites. And so we had like the emperor's view of things. Like, oh, look at the little people down there saying delete, which made me laugh. But it's difficult to gauge when you're not down there in the thick of it, is my point about that. I don't know. What do you think about that? I mean, obviously, if you're chanting "Let's go Jobber" and delete, you're not enamored with the product in front of you.
Well, I mean, if you're chanting "Let's Go Jobber" and it's in a squash match, that doesn't bother me, because you're just cheering for the guy who's probably going to lose. That I don't necessarily have a problem with.
Yeah.
But, when they start doing the delete chants or chanting for people who aren't even in the building at the time, like when they're just bored or displeased with what's in front of them, they start chanting CM Punk.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
My big problem is with the thing with the red belt.
Yeah.
That's when they just go too far. That is a very disappointing. It's like, you know what? No. And I
especially considering the context of the match in which it debuted. That's Finn Balor's chance to become champion in his first major match.
It's two amazing workers
Yeah.
busting their ass.
That should supersede everything else that's going on revolving around the periphery of that match. Granted, I know it's for that belt, but the belt doesn't even come to play until that match is over. Just worry about the match first.
That was the one time that I can really say in recent years that it's been like, okay, that was stupid. Like, why are you doing that? But by and large, I think that if you're sitting there wallowing through a 3-hour Raw and you start voicing your displeasure in that manner, then that's just because Raw's too long and you're not doing enough to entertain the people. Now, I know there are, like, the Full Sail crowd, for example, has been known to try to take over shows. And I think that's sort of, I don't know.
Weren't they chanting, this is filler or something during a match this last week?
Oh, I don't know. Were they? That's
I read
disappointing.
that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
That's not good. Like, when you're there every single, like, maybe take some time off. If you're just going to go there
Well, and like I think
because
if
you want to do that.
two people are in the ring working to try to entertain you, whether it's good or not, just kind of understand that fact that two people are in there trying to entertain you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Ulysses Thigpen. Hey,
Another
friendos.
Ulysses. How many Ulysses you got?
With WrestleMania storylines starting to pop up here and there, my question would be, will we ever see a more wrestling-focused WrestleMania? It seems these days it's more focused on the outside entertainment, the big money drawing part-timers, and the top few guys having some okay matches. He thinks it's pretty sad that if you're not a top 10 guy, you might not get a match at Mania due to guys like The Rock, Lesnar, and Undertaker doing their part-time thing. Goes on, but this is the gist of it. I think last year they did a pretty decent job of getting a lot of people on the card. I mean, it's a 4-hour main card plus an hour pre-show. That's 5 hours of wrestling. Not everyone's going to make it on.
Well, that's why they have things like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yep.
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, I'll put it this way. No, you're never going to have a Mania. I'll put it this way. You'll never have a Mania that isn't going to have some form of big money part-time aspect to it. You're just not. I mean, like, Undertaker's only going to have 1 or 2 left, if that.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
Brock will probably be around for a little while because he likes making money. Mm-hmm. So he'll probably be around a while. They'll always bring in celebrities of some sort. They'll always have that bit where The Rock and Ronda Rousey, or probably Conor McGregor in another year or two, I don't know, will come out and do something. You're always going to get that because they're always going to want to spend that big money on WrestleMania to bring people into the network. That's just what they want to do now.
Yeah.
That's okay because we have an all-time great roster of talent. So will the mid-card of SmackDown lose out and be on the pre-show? Probably. Will we see amazing matches between Finn Balor and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So you got to take the good with the bad. You guys know us. You know that we're not big fans of the big money stuff, but we also know it's a necessity.
Yeah.
It has to be there. And we just hope that they can do it in a good manner. When Rock, Hogan, and Stone Cold opened Mania 30, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
I even actually kind of liked Rock and Ronda Rousey doing their thing with Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I actually kind of like that. I didn't like The Rock burying the Wyatt family last week. Usually I don't like The Rock. But when they do it right, it can be a lot of fun. When they don't, it's just it's merch table time.
Alex Golden. How long is the Rusev U.S. title run going to last?
7 years.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
Also, has anyone told Steve that he looks like Sal from the Impractical Jokers?
Yeah, I think he put a picture. I kind of look like him, I guess. Read the next question. I'll bring this up.
Okay, because I haven't seen what Sal looks like.
Yeah, but as far as Rusev, okay, so his answer is 7 years. My answer will be, he's going to keep it to Mania. I think he's going to keep doing
But
Mania.
he didn't necessarily say whether it was 7 consecutive years or total.
True.
So, Matthew Bernier was wondering, do you think Roman and Seth will reform the Shield in the near future? Also, do you think Dana Brooke is going to turn face at Clash of Champions?
No,
No.
I don't really see it.
Nope.
No, I'm not Sal.
There have been rumors. Shield reunion. Could happen. Also, do you think Dana is going to turn on Charlotte at Clash of Champions? It wouldn't surprise me. They've planted the seeds.
Yes, because that's going to lead to Charlotte Dana for a couple months.
Justin Simmerly. Hey, friendos.
Hello, hi.
Do you think WWE is booking way too many multi-person matches lately? Every week we've had a fatal 4-way or 5-way, 6-pack challenge, triple threat, 150-person tag match, and so on. Excuse me. He doesn't have a problem with these matches when they do them on occasion, but it just feels like cheap booking to me when it's done every show. Your thoughts? They're trying to get as many people on the show as possible, I think. Well, like
Which is weird because they did a brand split, so everybody should have time to breathe.
But well, like last night with a 10-person tag, they were just trying to get 3 storylines involved in one segment.
They were simply trying to remind everybody this is happening. You're right. I know. And instead of eliminating 3 of the backstage segments and giving them a couple minutes to do something, they did that instead, which I don't like. Yeah, and I don't like that either.
Yeah. Well, like on SmackDown, they've done a lot of multi-person matches, but I think that's to try to get viewers familiar with the women's division on SmackDown.
Yeah, I agree. Next.
Dylan Caraballo. Hey, friendos. He's going to the live event in Chicago for Brock versus Orton. 2. Do you see Randy getting his win back, or will Brock do the same or do what he does best and send the crowd home wild? The latter.
I don't. Do you think it's going to be as much of a squash match as the last one was?
I don't know, but Orton's not winning.
Orton's definitely not winning. Might put up more of a fight, though.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's a house show. It's not canon, so it doesn't matter.
It's not canon, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Brock's going to join the Wolfpack NWO.
Yeah, I mean, Orton could, like, squash him in a minute and a half. Doesn't matter. It's not canon. Never happened.
Yeah, not going to happen, though.
The Real Psycho Sid. Yo, friendos.
Yo.
With them, WWE once again plugging another movie, Interrogation, within a show. It got me thinking, what is your favorite WWE studio film? There have been so many bad ones, but I would have to say his favorite has to be The Marine with Cena. Little fun fact, the scene with the Marine base was filmed at his university, Bond University,
nice.
which is in the Gold Coast of Australia. Honorable mention has to be Condemned with Stone Cold.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen a lot of them, but I did see one with Big Show movie. What was that called? Oh, man, what was that called? Something... Knucklehead. I actually kind of laughed at Knucklehead. Yeah. It wasn't a bad movie. It was kind of silly. It was funny. Anyways.
I don't know if I've seen an entire WWE Studios film all the way through.
You're not missing out on much, man.
I've seen part of...
There's that Halle Berry one everybody said was good.
Oh, yeah. The one where she was a 911 operator or something
that was good. That did good at the box office, too.
The one with Colin Farrell in it that they co-produced.
Oh, was Stu Bennett in it, too?
Yeah, with Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
That got decent reviews.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Brady Ogden. Hey, friendos. Now that Kevin Owens is the longest reigning WWE Universal Champion, how long do you think his reign will be? He thinks Owens will hold it to the Rumble, losing to Rollins. Finn will get it back. Coming back, winning the Rumble.
The problem with that is that Finn and Seth are both faces now.
Yeah.
And Seth is going to be that way for a while. Yes. I think Owens is going to keep it until...
Rollins is going to face Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Chops.
Hey, friendos. First-time patron.
Hi, Chops.
I see everyone is talking crap about Chris Jericho's outfit, but yet no one is calling out that stupid idiot Enzo Amore and his wardrobe choices.
There's nothing to call out. They're amazing.
Yeah. Chop's question is, if you had to pick whose outfit who would you wear out in public, Enzo's or Jericho's? Chops goes with Jericho and his $10,000 pair of leather pants.
The problem with that is Enzo wears shirts and Jericho only wears vests without a shirt. That's not a good look for me. So I would go with Enzo's.
I would go with Enzo because he has an incredible collection of Jordans.
That's a good point as well.
And I would get to wear those.
Very good. Next.
Giovanni Lugo. Hey, friendos.
Hi.
Do you think Gargano and Ciampa will ever compete for the tag team straps on Main, or will they wrestle exclusively for the Cruiserweight division?
This is interesting because I don't know. I mean, they seem to be pushing them as Cruiserweight guys.
But they're also extremely over as a tag team in NXT.
I know, it's bizarre. So I think maybe...
It might start out, at least on Main, Cruiserweight division. Eventually they'll move up to wrestling as a tag team, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're... God, I don't know. I think they definitely have an opportunity to be a bit more of a crossover thing than any of the other cruiserweights because we've gotten to know them a lot more than the others. So I don't know. That's going to be a big question how they book Gargano and Ciampa.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Alex Shez. The Universal title picture is pretty crowded for the next year or two. When do you think Rusev can get a title shot or in a main event program? Within the next year or two.
I would say within 2 years. I would say post Mania.
Yeah.
He'll start getting up.
Especially if Balor gets the belt back. It's like a Balor Rusev program can be fun.
A lot of fun, yeah.
Lost my place again. Hold on.
Vincent Palmieri.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm sitting in a car driving to work, jamming out to great wrestling themes introduced to us, when this burning question hits me like I'm Kota Ibushi in the quarterfinals of the CWC. Who is the greatest wrestler, in your opinion, to have had a hand in the production of their entrance theme? Be it singing or rapping, speaking an intro, whatever. Thanks, guys. The burning question was the burning hammer joke, in case that wasn't clear. Very good.
Shawn Michaels.
I don't think you can go wrong with Shawn Michaels. Enzo raps in his own.
Yeah.
But
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, it's Shawn Michaels.
It's Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
Jason the Cabbie. So, dabbling into the realm of nerdy shit, you guys have often said that John Cena is like Wolverine with his ability to heal from serious injury. That being said, what other top card guys and gals, past and present, would you analogize, the superheroes?
Yeah.
And obviously, which ones?
Well, I mean, I think when the Shield was around, there was the obvious comparison to Roman Reigns being Superman, Ambrose being the Joker, and Seth Rollins being Batman. I always liked that. I always thought that was apropos. Cena is a Superman, another Superman guy, of course. Naomi, Green Lantern, with her new getup. I always liked that, which we just heard about last week. Watching Halloween Havoc 97, if Rey Mysterio ain't the Flash, I don't know who is. Because, boy, that guy was quick.
Yeah, he was.
He was fast.
Yeah, he was.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, oh, man.
KJ from NY. Hey, friendos.
Hi.
With the ratings for Raw and SmackDown Live dropping very low recently, do you think they're just experiencing the Monday Night Football woes, or will this be a consistent thing?
It's definitely Monday Night Football. The demographics are cross over a little bit.
But also, I think people are watching their wrestling differently. A lot more people are watching it on Hulu.
Yeah, but he's talking, there was a very distinct spike.
Oh, I know.
Like, after the Olympics, and then right as Monday Night Football, it went right back.
But it goes back to me saying, like, people are like, okay, I can watch football or wrestling. Oh, I can watch both. I'll watch football now live, and then afterwards I'll watch Raw, which I have recorded on my DVR.
Yeah, it's just it is consumed differently, but the big drop in ratings is specifically because
ratings don't take into account streaming or
right
DVRing.
Viking Horn.
Roman has been really putting in that work. With all the aftermatch beatings he has been taking after matches with Rusev, are they really giving him the belt? It could work if he gets it, then turns on Seth and tells him to stay out of his business. Agree? Disagree?
I'm going to say disagree. We're going to do our predictions on Thursday, but I'm going to say Roman does not walk out with the U.S. title. Do you say he does?
I don't know yet.
Yeah,
I gotta
think about it. Think about it.
The Iron Man Mackenzie Krieger. Who in today's roster on either SmackDown or Raw do you think could pull off an hour-long Iron Man match and make it entertaining? He says AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. Two great choices.
I'll just put, look, anything AJ Styles does for an hour, I'll watch it. Don't care. I'll watch it. Don't care who it's with. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
He'll make it interesting. Hey, one thing about Roman, let me ask you this. Him no-selling things, creative or him? I think it's him, dude.
It might be a little bit of both.
He can at least sell something.
I know.
There are ways to do
it.
But
they may say, say to him, hey, this is your character. Like a Cena, how often does Cena take a finisher and get right back up? We know Cena can sell, but his character is the guy that overcomes everything. And they might have told Reigns, hey,
with Reigns, it's so egregious, though. I know. With him, it's so...
I mean, him getting kicking out of the pop-up powerbomb.
It smacks of so much. It smacks
just getting right up from it.
It smacks of inexperience.
That's part of it.
The way he no-sells it. It's okay to. I mean, you want to kick up from. You want to kick out of a
finisher from time to time.
Pop powerbomb. There's too many weird words there. I don't know, man. I like you can take the director from creative and say, hey, no-sell to an extent because you're supposed to be strong. Be strong. You got to sell something.
No, I know.
You have to.
I agree. That's why I say it might be a little bit of both.
The Iron Man, Mackenzie Krieger.
No, we just did that one.
Jefferson Nakamura.
Do you think the Undertaker will return for Survivor Series or Hell in a Cell? Those pay-per-views would not be right without him. Book his return angle.
Do you think the Undertaker will return for Survivor Series or Hell in a Cell?
If he comes back at all, it'll be at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, no. If he comes back, it'll be WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah.
Khalid Abuzed.
What's buzzing, friendos?
Evidently his mic.
Oh, is there a mic buzz?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
But people were bitching about your mic. That's okay. Continue.
Oh, because it's too echoey or something?
I don't know. Go.
Okay. His question is a simple one. What do you think is missing from today's wrestlers that makes the 90s and 2000s more fun to watch than most of today's wrestlers? Thanks, friendos. By and large, I think most of the wrestling today is better than it was in the 90s and early 2000s.
I'll be honest, I enjoy it on the whole more than I did back then.
Yeah.
I think, it's like, yeah, there are ups and downs in anything, but there's never been more talent.
The quality of the in-ring product has probably never been better.
Has never been better. And throughout the last couple decades, like, creative is up and down.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Yeah. Robert Hay.
Hey.
How do you feel about the rumor that The Miz is going to Raw? If it is true, who do you think will be traded to SmackDown to replace him? We talked about this a little bit earlier.
Yeah, if it's going to be a trade, it'll be Cesaro. But like you said, I hope that that they come to terms. Because for one thing, I think that'll be a more interesting storyline for him and Daniel Bryan to continue. I think that's a really interesting thing. You've got a face authority and a heel talent demanding more. I think there's some interesting possibilities that haven't been explored yet.
Yeah, I agree. Ulysses the Odyssey Ramirez.
So many Ulysses.
This is my favorite question of the week, I think.
Okay.
Hey, friendo, since many people, like himself, are starting to warm up to the Shining Stars timeshare shtick,
Okay.
what would a Going in Raw timeshare look like?
Oh, wow.
Where would it be? What would be offered?
Man.
And who will be the employees?
Yeah. So, those apartments behind Walmart over in Rancho? Mm-hmm. That's where our timeshare is.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, it's like Syria Light. Okay. Who would be the employees? Well, we would be the non-existent landlords, right? We would be slumlords. Okay. Employees, there's plenty of people there that, just sort of milling about that we can PayPal a couple bucks here and there to go clean up or something. Okay. I don't know. We're definitely not going to have a doorman or a bellboy at our timeshare. That's not going to happen. So probably no employees because we'd prefer to have all the money ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think?
That's fine, I guess.
You good with that?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, we can get like a ramshackle trailer, park it down like near Folsom Lake, kind of, and then just rent that out as a
that's a good
timeshare.
idea, too. Yeah.
But what we'd want to do, of course, is take pictures of like really cool resort timeshares, put that as on our literature.
We get pictures from like Ritz Carlton, like somewhere in where there's exactly Ritz Carlton's at,
amazing lands
in the Caribbean or something.
Amazing places.
The interior of the rooms.
Yeah.
And we post those, but then for the exterior of the trailer, it's just the actual trailer. People think the inside of that trailer is like something else.
Yeah, it's
special.
Yeah.
And they go in.
Yeah.
And it's not that.
No, it's a giant pile of crap. And literally, we're gonna take time out to go poop in it. We're going to be like, look, this is exporting right now. We've got 10 minutes. Let's go take a crap together.
Okay.
In our timeshare.
But you'll be right by the lake.
How much are we going to charge for it?
It's $2,000 a week. Seem excessive?
No, it's perfect. Okay. I was thinking like $2,500 a week, but that's good too.
We got a bunch of video questions. We should get to them.
All right. Derek Simmons.
So with the recent news about Hulk Hogan's probable return... Hulk Hogan's probable return to the WWE, how would you book a post-Gawker return for the Hulkster? Ugh, that sounds gross just saying.
Thanks, Derek. So yeah, rumor has it they've been including Hulk's voice in promos lately.
Yeah.
Dicey territory though, man. Dicey territory. You start off with a 5-year apology tour, right? And then you book him to lose against Shinsuke Nakamura, but like super strong style. So like, dislocated jaw, hip removed completely from body. I don't know how you do that, man. I don't know. I don't know how you bring Hulk back.
I have no idea.
It's just a massive, nasty elephant in the room, though. So I don't know. I would think that you wouldn't start off at live events. You don't start off at live events.
I have no idea. I literally have no idea.
I think probably the way you do it, dude. A Legends with JBL and Hulk Hogan. That's how you do it. You start off there. That's sort of your apology tour. That kicks off your apology tour.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I don't know how you bring him into live events, though.
Yeah, that I don't know.
That's a rough one. Adrian Strip.
Hey, friendos. Congratulations on 100 episodes of Going in Raw. Hearing that you guys are at an anniversary of sorts, it got me thinking back to some of my favorite Steven Larson moments. I think the day I became a friendo was when I saw the Miyamoto meter give fake Pikmin toss out of 10. So my questions to you, 2 questions, would be, do you plan to revive any of your old gimmicks ever? Like maybe a swervo meter on the on one of the lists, or the Walmarter and Targeted in 2K17? And the second question would be, I guess, what are some of your favorite wrestling gimmicks of all time?
Thanks, Adrian. Good to see that he's been around for a while. My goodness. 10 for the win, friendo. My goodness. I mean, 10 for the win's still around. But
I know, but it goes back quite a ways.
we don't do the intros anymore.
Nope.
We haven't done those for a little while.
Nope.
Geez, I don't know. Here's the funny thing, though, is Adrian's a longtime friendo. We've got still quite a few longtime friendos. The vast majority of our friendos now, our audience now, have no idea about that old stuff. No clue.
Yeah.
So introducing it now would be really weird.
Yeah.
Or reintroducing it would be really weird. Now, it wouldn't be weird if like he said, 2K17. Perfect. Fuck wrestling. Perfect.
Yeah.
Good avenue to explore.
Yeah.
Bringing it back in a live action way.
I don't know.
I just don't know. It's not what we do now, which is a bummer, which is because we love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But some of that stuff was, people found it funny because we found it funny. But these days we just have a completely different gig.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because we ripped a bunch of those intros and they're just sitting on our computer. But, rights issues, like we don't own those. Machinima owns those. So it's like, and I don't know, like I know that a lot of those old episodes have been privatized by Machinima. So putting them up on our channel, I don't really know that we can do that.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do that.
So it's like we still have a really good working relationship with Machinima,
Yes.
and I don't really want to dive into that.
Yes.
And it's old stuff,
Yeah.
So
Favorite wrestling gimmicks?
man, I don't know. Honestly, look, Bray Wyatt's a gimmick.
Yeah.
That is a gimmick,
And it's a good one.
and it's a damn good one.
Yeah.
So I'd say Bray Wyatt. Undertaker, of course, is one of those that really, with a lot of other people, that could have failed easily.
Well, same with Kane. And they made
Same
that
with
work.
Kane, yeah. But I'd say those 3 are good ones.
Yeah. DJ CS.
Hey friendos, DJ CS coming to you from right here in Syracuse, New York, home of such amazing wrestlers as the great Muhammad Hassan, Mark Merrow, Erwin R. Shyster, Mike Rotunda, Michael Cole, the home of the very first In Your House pay-per-view, also the place where Shawn Michaels got his butt kicked by a Marine for trying to have sex with a woman that the Marine knew was married and he wasn't having it. I've been feeling very nostalgic lately, and I've been watching a lot of WWE Network for just $9.99. Mostly a lot of ECW from 93 up to 98 is where I've gotten so far. And ECW's had a lot of great talent throughout their years, and I was curious to know who you guys think will be the first ECW original to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm thinking maybe the Dudleys, but maybe you guys have a different opinion. Let me know.
Thank you, DJ CS. I love those belts. He's got the big championship belts right there. He's all ready to go. I got to get that Money in the Bank briefcase, though, so I can cash in on him.
Okay.
Both belts.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Don't you need 2 briefcases then? One for each belt.
I get 2 of them.
Okay.
Rob
Van Dam.
Great question. But what you just said is, so Rob Van Dam goes in before Tommy Dreamer?
Yeah.
I think so, too. Dudley Boys, though. He brought the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, that's a good choice too, but they just left.
Yeah, but on good terms.
No, I understand that.
I actually.
I can see
you
the
say
Dudleys.
RVD, I could actually see
I
the
can
Dudley
see the
Boys.
Dudleys. It's a toss-up between the 2.
I would actually say it's 60-40 Dudleys.
Okay.
Because they just left on good terms. They had a good run. They probably imparted a lot of knowledge to the tag teams.
It depends.
And RVD recently turned down a contract
I
because
know.
he wanted more money.
It would depend on what the Dudleys do next. If they go back to TNA.
Oh yeah, which Bubba's been teasing.
So they're not going to be going to the Hall of Fame while they're employed by TNA.
That's true. Next,
Vince.
Hey friendos, sorry this question's getting you guys so late. I'm getting ready for my birthday on Wednesday. Big deal. Whoa. But I had to think of another question because last one I enjoyed your guys' answer, and I got another one for you. So you guys know how wrestlers get hurt a lot, right? Especially recently. It's become way more prevalent over the past couple years now that social media blows up and we know about injuries, and it takes guys out for 6 to 8 months at a time, and it's a pretty big deal, and it sucks because we don't get to see them work. But it makes feuds build in a way that we don't normally get to see. I've noticed WWE creative is bad at building a feud. They can't stretch it for too long, and part of that I think is because of injuries, but at the same time those injuries they let the feud build up to a year. For example, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. We were anticipating and waiting for those two to wrestle all the way back in November of last year or the year before that. And then Seth Rollins just shows up when he's medically cleared, and it's huge. The pop was insane. And we all kind of saw it coming, I guess, because we saw it on social media, but it was huge. It was a really big deal. My question for you guys is, because the downside of that is that, they're getting hurt, and that's probably shortening their career. So, do you think the payout for injuries in wrestling is sometimes better for a wrestler to get hurt? Is it worse because they're getting hurt and it's possibly shortening their career? Or is it better in the long run because it builds bigger, more important feuds up in a way that WWE can't do because they can't reliably plan for a guy to be ready at this time of the year? Except for The Miz. Easily one of my best guys right now because he never gets hurt. Safe style for life. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Vince. This is a really good question.
It is.
I like this because there is a conundrum there. It's like we said earlier, Finn goes down, creative, that sparks inspiration. Okay, well, what do we do now with the pieces? There's always something inspiring there because you're not adhering to this long, drawn-out plan.
Yeah, and also we've seen instances where wrestlers are injured or gone for a protracted period of time and come back to a huge pop.
I have
Triple H, for example.
The perfect solution to this that doesn't involve getting injured. In fact, it's quite the opposite.
Just give people scheduled time off.
Give people 2 months a year of scheduled time off with pay of some sort, because they're still freelancers. They still pay for, so part of their downside guarantee is you get 2 months off.
Yeah.
And when they come back, they'll still have the rub. Maybe not of, okay, they're coming back from an injury, so you get that extra rub from the crowd. Oh my God, you overcame.
Yeah.
But still, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes.
Keep them off for 2 months.
Yes.
Maybe still have them, still pay them to do
appearances here.
And Make-A-Wish stuff. Bring them back, crowd will be extra hot. Bring them back on a different brand, crowd will be extra hot.
Yep.
I think that's a good way to go. And it prevents injuries from happening. I understand, that they can benefit people, but I don't think that's a good...
Or even if they're not off TV for those 2 months, get them off the road.
Yeah.
Give people scheduled breaks from the house show circuit.
Yeah, well, but he's saying as it pertains to coming back.
No, I understand. This is kind of a tangent I'm going on.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Next question from Patrick Sparks.
Hey, friendos, Pat here. So, I was just recently listening to a true crime podcast that went over the life of crime of Jimmy the Superfly Snuka. So, my question for you today is not very often we get a WWE superstar who fights off 8 cops, 2 police dogs, has multiple assaults, loves his fucking drugs, and allegedly murdered his mistress, not even his wife of 4 kids, Nancy Argentino, back in the 80s. With that being said, who do you think would be the most likely WWE superstar currently to have a life of crime if they weren't employed by the WWE? Thanks, friendos. I know it's a weird question, but thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Patrick. Very dark question. What a really dark question. I can't assume that anybody would actually be turning to a life of crime. However, I have a really good answer for this.
Okay.
In character, Rusev goes back to Bulgaria, becomes a politician, a congressman, and he machkas his political opponents. I could see Rusev in a House of Cards style drama.
That's a very good answer.
How much would you love to see that?
That's pretty good.
What am I telling you? That'd be great.
That's
Corruption. He's all corrupt.
That's good. That's very good.
I like that a lot.
That's very good.
All right.
We got one more. It's kind of a question. But do you want to do this after?
We'll do this after Kayfabe. Yeah, we'll do this after Kayfabe Corner.
Kevin Larb tells a story.
About
an experience.
Story time with Kevin Larb.
At Disneyland he had. But he did say, kind of relating to a story. We'll get to it a little bit. What WWE superstar would you like to do a day at Disneyland with?
Well, let's answer that now, and then we'll air his story after Kayfabe Corner. Rusev, but only if he's a corrupt politician. I'm still riding high off that answer.
That's a good answer.
No, it'd obviously be Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It'd be Enzo and Cass.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
Yeah. All right, are you ready?
I am ready for Kayfabe Corner.
What is Kayfabe Corner?
The greatest wrestling trivia challenge ever known to man. That's what it is.
12 names.
Yes.
6 real, 6 fake.
Grand Metalik.
So the 2 choices this week for the theme
were Grand Metalik.
Were Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe Metalik.
And Bobby Roode.
Roode Metalik.
Who do you think won?
Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Are you ready?
I will defend until I'm victorious.
It's a copyright issue there. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, number 1.
Let's do it.
Brilliant Bobby Roode.
Brilliant Bobby Roode? Fake.
Yeah. 2. Phil Steele.
Phil Steele. Fake.
Yeah. 3. Rudy Rude.
Rudy Rude. How do you spell rude at the end?
Rude, as in the word rude. R-U-D-E.
I'm going to say real.
Yeah. Okay. That was actually one of his earlier names.
Oh, really? So he went by R-U-D-E?
Yeah.
Interesting.
4.
Okay.
Kid Crush.
Kid Crush. Or Kid Cash. I'm going to say fake.
Real.
Who's Kid Crush?
R-Truth.
Continue.
5.
R-Truth had a lot of names.
Paul Wonder.
Paul Wonder? No, dude, that's fake.
It's a good name, though.
Yeah.
6.
It's too close to Paul Orndorff.
6. Kid Flash.
Kid Flash. Kid Crash, Kid Flash, Kid Fake.
Real.
Real? Who's that? R-Truth again?
I think it was Kidman, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
7. Mark Stunner.
Mark Stunner. That's the fakest shit I've ever heard in my life. That wasn't, you weren't trying there. You spent like 20 minutes here looking at names.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't that confident.
Mark Stunner.
Next, Collapse.
Collapse? Really? Collapse. Shit. And I've lost complete track of real and fakes too. Collapse. That's fake. It's gotta be fake. Okay.
Lee Awesome.
Lee Awesome? Well, of course there was Mike Awesome. Was there a Lee Awesome? I'll say real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another one of Bobby Roode's names.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, he's not a lot. I thought I looked up Bobby Roode before and he had like nothing, but apparently I was wrong. I think it was James Storm has ever only been James Storm.
Yeah, James Storm has only been James Storm. Right. Next.
Okay.
Robbie Moxie.
Robbie Moxie. No, I think that's fake.
Real.
Real? Who's that?
Rob E from TNA.
Okay, all right.
Lance Marvel.
Lance Marvel. I'll say real.
Fake.
Okay.
Last one.
Okay.
Too Hip.
How do you spell it?
T-O-O.
Okay.
H-I-P.
Too Hip. Fake.
Real.
Damn it. Who is
Val
that?
Venus.
Really?
Yep.
That's weird.
How many?
Got 7.
All
Still
right.
got 7. It's pretty good.
2 trivia questions.
Dos.
Who did Bobby Roode face in his first WWF match in 2001 when he went by the name Rudy Rude? Who did he face? It was a dark match.
2001 dark match. A 2001 dark match could have been against, I'll say Val Venus.
Perry Saturn.
Oh, okay.
You probably know this one.
No, probably not.
Who did Bobby Roode defeat to win his first TNA World title?
I'll say Christopher Daniels.
James Storm.
Really?
Yep.
Shit, I did not know that at all.
Turned on his tag team partner.
Oh, and that led to his first. Okay, all right. I thought it had been before that. Okay, interesting. Goes to show how much I know. So I had 7.
So you're up 5, I believe.
I'm up 5, but then next week, is like when you can then we're even on numbers of tries. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm up 5.
Yeah.
All right, so you can do better than 5, and you'll be back on top.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm going to bring the heat, though.
Okay.
All right.
We'll do it.
We're going to close with a story time with Kevin Larb.
Correct.
So he'll close out the show.
Yeah.
And I want to say thanks to everybody who is hitting that download button, review button. We keep on... Fantasy football's here, so we keep on dropping in and out of the top 150.
That's fine. It's temporary.
Last time I checked, we were above Ryback and we're above Vince Russo. It's really the only 2 I care about. Anyways, I want to say thanks to everybody who's with us, and stay tuned for the bonus episode.
Yeah, we'll be back like right away.
Machka.
Hey, Stephen Larson and the Going In Raw community. Of course, my name is Kevin, and instead of asking a question this week, I decided to tell a little bit of a story with some WWE wrestlers and Disneyland. So, last year, my girlfriend and I were in Disneyland, and it was near the end of the night, and we got in line for Pirates of the Caribbean. It's really good to go right near where the park is ending, because there's not a lot of people in line, and you can kind of get a boat to yourself, which is pretty nice. So, we didn't get a boat to ourselves, because in front of us was Cody Rhodes, his wife Eden, Zack Ryder, and his girlfriend Emma. So, it was Cody Rhodes, Eden, right behind him, Zack Ryder, Emma. There was a space, and it was my girlfriend and myself. We had a boat with them for the entire ride, and it was great. So the ride goes on, you go down a little bit of a drop, and then you enter a pirate lair, and the ride really begins. And this is when the 4 wrestlers get into character. When I say get into character, they're all talking pirates, and they're treating this ride like it's actually happening. So you come up to a scene where a big pirate ship is battling a fort, and cannonballs are apparently flying overhead. There's explosions of water, and big battle going on. And they're all treating it like this is real. So they're getting down low. They're talking pirates, saying, we're friendly, we're friendly. I'm not going to do a pirate accent because I'm horrible at pirate accent. But they're saying, oh, no, we're friendly, don't shoot us, shoot over there, shoot over there. And then turning back to my girlfriend and I, well, Zach does, and he goes, guys, you need to get down, you need to get down. But no, like, you're going to get hit, and you need to call out that we're friendly. So they're trying to get the entire boat involved, which is fantastic. Normally you just sit there and you're looking at the stuff, but no, they're treating it like it's real. So the ride kind of continues, and you go into the town that's being ransacked by the pirates, and you come up to an auction. The pirates have gathered all the women of the town together, and they're selling them as either prostitutes or I believe it's brides. And they're kind of bartering with the other, robotic pirates, saying, well, what can I get for this bonny lass, and all that. So Zach and Cody are bartering with the pirates, saying, well, he's offering 10 gold, I'll offer 11 or 12, or hey, I'll trade in my wife for that beautiful maiden over there. And of course, the girls you think would be offended, no, they're getting into it too. Whereas the men auction. So the ride ends, we get off the boat, Cody and Zach are going up, and they're high-fiving everyone, including my girlfriend and myself, saying, we survived, we're bona fide pirates. And when I see celebrities in real life, at Disneyland or, whereabouts, I don't like making a scene. I don't like saying, can I have a selfie or even an autograph, unless it's at like an expo or, something like that where they're doing that kind of thing. But I got a chance, what I try and do if I actually see a celeb, if I can do it on the down low, it's give them a handshake, say, thank you for everything that you do, or in this case, a high five. And I got to do that. Got to say, guys, I know exactly who you all are. I love you all. You're the best. Thank you for all your work. Anyway, guys, that's my story about Disneyland and WWE. Hope you guys liked it, and have a great day.